Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 19. We usually take it in turns of who's going to do the intro, but today Ryan is a bit poorly. So are you okay to crack on?
Well, I'm going to soldier on because that's what people out there want, is they want a podcast and I'm here to deliver that podcast.
You're such a brave soldier.
I am. I'm just going to apologise now. As we've talked about before, Shan does all the social media. And obviously when all the listeners out there realise that I'm ill, you know, you're going to have to deal with all the hundreds and thousands of messages of well-wishing towards me. You're just going to have to deal with them. And I do apologise for that. But yeah.
Apologise in advance.
So we went to York, didn't we?
Did, yes.
And York decided to give me some disease or something. I don't know what it is.
It's not COVID.
It's not COVID. It's just
not COVID.
I was fine yesterday, all day. I was sinking my Madri and I was thinking I'm fine. No, it's not a hangover, but I was fine all day yesterday.
That's what I thought, to be honest.
No,
it was a hangover.
And then I woke up this morning, just been shivering. I'm just tired.
But he's going to soldier on and he's not going to moan about it.
No.
No.
I'm not like that.
Should we get cracking on?
Yeah,
cracking on. Let's crack on.
Let's crack on. Yeah.
So we took the fan cam with us again yesterday.
We did.
It was a bit of a weird game, to be honest, because it wasn't nothing really happened, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, the fan cam's fun. When you do say we took the fan cam, but it's
Ryan.
It's me.
Held it.
It's me taking the fan cam.
Yes, because I don't know how to hold it, and I don't want it right in my face.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to see up my nose. So
no one wants to see up anybody's nose. But no, it's fun, the whole fan cam thing. They got in touch. Said,
yes.
Do you want to take it to York with you? And it was like, yes. Of course we do. We looked on the back of the tickets and it did say on the York tickets, under no circumstances is any filming equipment allowed in the ground.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know what to do, so we sort of smuggled it in, didn't we?
We were like, in your pocket.
I was like, this camera, this camera doesn't belong to us. I don't want to get it taken off me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really good fun. Hopefully, the more times we do this,
the better we'll get.
The better we'll get at
it. And we took it to the last home game.
Aldershot.
And it was actually an okay game. So hopefully we got some good footage there, but we're not so sure about the York footage, are we?
Yeah, I just want to be on the documentary, to be honest.
Well, talking of being on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously it was on BT Sport, wasn't it, yesterday?
Yeah.
And we had a message from one of our listeners. And he said that we were on I was on the 56th minute.
Yeah, you just saw. I think you saw half of me.
Yeah, your dad was on it, and Alfie was on it, and I was on it.
Yeah.
I think I was giving Alfie a kiss or something like that.
I can't remember.
Don't even know.
No.
But then I think we were both on it on the 88th minute.
When we scored, you could see us celebrating. Yeah, and it was a bit zoomed out, that one. But
that's our.
We were on the telly anyway. So about York. Before we get into the game, what did you think of the ground and stuff?
Well, as I said to you yesterday, it was a step up from Oldham's.
I think, without being rude, most things are a step up from Oldham, though. But it's quite a new stadium, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
a
newish.
bit of a weird location. Like you've got Sainsbury's, you've got a retail park, and then you've got
a Kia dealership.
Yeah, and then you've got a swimming pool.
Yeah, and oh look, there's the ground.
It is in a very bizarre place.
It is, but I think a lot of new grounds now. It's what you got to bear in mind is it's about where can you buy the land to actually do it. You know, unless you're going way out of town, which it is out of town, but I mean, you know, it's sort of fit in where it did, didn't it? So it was a nice grounds, and food and drink was good. I enjoyed that.
We got food and drink this time.
Yeah, it was really good. We got there nice and early, didn't we?
We did.
I had a lovely Balti pie, which was very
You did.
nice.
You did.
And I had a couple of pints of Amstel.
I had a sausage roll,
Yeah,
which you ate half of it
yeah,
because
yeah, it was too crumbly for
Too-
you apparently.
too
but
flaky.
Flaky, sorry, whatever that means. But anyway, I ate it and it seemed fine to me.
the prices were a bit questionable.
Were they?
Well, Alfie had a hot dog and it was £4.50, and I think I actually said when I saw it, I went £4.50, and I think the man behind the till was thinking,
Yeah. I don't know.
it was a big hot dog, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not.
So-
I'm never usually that bothered. You know, we all had some food.
We did.
I had a couple of drinks, and it was 20 odd quid, and it's all like, you know,
It is
gonna
what
be?
it is, isn't it?
It's not that bad, is it?
No.
I mean, if you'd have put everything down, and it was 30, 40 quid, I'd maybe have had something to say, but not for what it was.
No.
Now, again, before we discuss the game, I think there's one very important point that I think we need to bring up. And it is regarding the "you're sitting in my seat" brigade, which now, just to give everyone a little bit of a rundown about this. So at away games, when you go to an away game, the unspoken, unwritten rule is you sit where you want. Your ticket is allocated to a seat, but you get into the ground and you sit where you want. That's what everybody does at an away game. Now, however, you always get some people who go, "Oh, you're sitting in my seat. You're sitting in my seat. Excuse me, you're sitting in my seat." No, nobody is sitting in your seat. Go and sit where you want. Now, we did have quite an irate lady yesterday, didn't we? And she had some children with her, and she was saying, "You're in my seat." And they very politely
They weren't
said,
talking to us.
No, not to us.
Not to us.
They very politely, the people who were sitting there said, maybe you should go away and find another seat. And she went to the stewards to say, "You need to sort this out because they're sat in my seat." And the steward sort of went, "Yeah."
I mean, what did she expect? Literally 2 seconds before the game was about to start.
Now, as well, there was another issue. Sort of during the day, the stewards and everything were quite adamant because you panicked a little bit because none of us were sitting together.
We weren't.
The stewards were very adamant. "No, it's not sit where you want. You sit in your allocated seat." And, you know, we were like, "Good luck with that." And he'd go, No, I don't care. It's not good luck with that. You sit in your seat. And we were like, "No, it's not going to happen." And you were sort of like, "Well, how's this going to play out?" And I said, "You've got like 1,600 of us at the game, right?
The likelihood of us all getting tickets together.
Yeah, and I was like, they might, for the first 2 or 3 or 4 people that go, "They're sitting in my seat," they might do something about it. But out of them 1,600, I can guarantee you 1,400 of them were not sitting in their seats.
Of course.
So this is a message for people who maybe don't go to many away games or are thinking of going to their first away game or whatever it might be. Don't look on the website and go, "Oh, I'd like to sit there," or "I'd like to sit there. Oh, there's a row of 4 seats that are together. I'm going to buy them." Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. Nobody is sitting in your seat. Buy a ticket for the game. First come, first serve. Sit where you like. I also don't care what the stewards say, what the club say. It doesn't matter. It's sit where you want, okay? Nobody is sitting in your seat. Let's move on. It's just stupid. Because
Calm down.
most people know the rule, right?
Yeah.
It's not, as I say, it's an unwritten rule. Most people know it. Just get on with your life. Sit somewhere else. And then, Anyway, you're sitting in my seat. No. Right, anyway.
Should we get on with the game?
Yeah, let's
talk
get
about
on
the
with the game.
game. So, sorry, you were going to
No,
inhaled then to start speaking, but...
No, I seem very, I don't know. I'm not with it, am I?
No.
But it's fine.
It's fine, because I take the show anyway. I carry the both of us, so...
Go on, what were you going to say anyway?
So, first 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of other people feel, yourself.
Yeah.
We were in control for the first 25 minutes, I think.
I do agree with that. And the reason I agree with that is I wrote that note. So that you're very
oh my God,
that you're very nicely reading out as if it's your own point of view.
Oh my God, completely throwing me under the bus there.
No, I do. I do agree.
I did think that, but that opinion.
No, we were very much in control in that first 25 minutes. We were looking at it, and we were having a little conversation going, look, these aren't very good. York weren't great. They were, we were all over them. We didn't really create anything particularly clear cut, though, did we? That you sort of go, ooh, maybe Mullin had a header at one point, didn't he?
I think he had a few, to be fair.
Yeah, he had a header, which was really off target. And I think we were getting sort of in the right areas in that first 25 minutes without actually sort of
doing anything
with the possession and the space that we had. I very much think York were out of it for that first 25 minutes. They were nowhere. And as time crept on, it just sort of felt like we lost our grip on that game, and it was completely within our control for a long period.
What do you think caused that, though?
I don't know. I think when you're in control and you're sort of not creating anything, it can knock your confidence a little bit, because we didn't really create anything. We had a couple of shots and things like that, and it sort of felt like something was coming, but it just didn't. And there was definitely a lack of creativity, I think, in the whole play. It was quite stagnant at times, and it was a bit boring to watch.
A lot of people have said that. I don't know.
You don't know what a lot of people have said.
No, I don't know. I read something and I can't remember for the life of me what I read.
Wow, I'm sure.
Do you know when you're little and someone says to you, "Think before you speak"?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Well, we picked up a couple of viewers and listeners on that, just from that last 30 seconds alone. No, I think it was. See, in a situation like that, you're looking at the game, and when we got to about sort of 60, 70 minutes, previously what we would have done would have gone, I tell you what this game needs. It needs a bit of Elliot Lee coming off the bench, right? And then you go, hang on a minute. He's already off the bench and he's not really doing that much. He looks good and he holds onto the ball very well. But again, he didn't really create that much either. So, it's one of them. Who do you bring on? We brought on Mendy, who's very attacking minded. We switched a midfielder for Dalby, so it's more attacking intent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, sometimes I think people bang on about our strength in depth. I'm not.
You bang on about our strength in depth a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Looking at the game yesterday, I'm not sure how much in depth we have that strength.
Mm-hmm.
We have defending strength in depth, and we've got all sorts that we could be bringing on. But when you're chasing the game a little bit, with all the will in the world, and no offence to him, Reece Johnson isn't winning you a game, is he? If to bring him on the bench, I mean, he has won us games in the past. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you're going, right, okay, it's 0-0, we need a goal, let's bring on Harry Lennon. Do you know what I mean? That's not what you want. You want somebody who's going to affect the game. And I think we definitely lack. Do
you think we missed Jordan Davis yesterday? Or do you think it was it wouldn't have made any difference?
No, I think where we would have missed him, I think Lee still would have started.
Yeah.
But I think where we missed Jordan yesterday was, let's say we were set up with Lee starting, Jordan was on the bench, and then you want to take off a defender or a defensive midfielder, then that's where Jordan's perfect to come on, because you're switching the dynamic from a defensive-minded player to an attacking-minded player. Yeah. So that's where I think you miss him. Although, to say that, I don't think Jordan Davis and Elliot Lee play particularly great together, and I don't think it suits the system. But if you're going to switch that up to maybe a 4-4-2, which we did, then
we changed the formation a couple of times, didn't we?
Yeah, we went 4-4-2.
I say we.
I'm going to have to try and get this right in my head. I think we went 4-4-2 first, and then we went 4-3-3. So we have
whichever order you want to say it.
No, that's I think pretty much what we did.
Yeah.
And I think neither particularly worked very well. I think it was one of them where we'll talk about Tom O'Connor's goal in a minute, but when he scored, I think that was very much a goal that could have been scored regardless of the formation you were playing. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of like a
By him or someone else?
No, from anyone.
From
It was sort of
anyone.
like a set piece sort of situation, and it was like...
Still a worldie, though.
Yeah, and it was. We'll talk about that in a second. But sorry, I'm very mad. But you know, it was... I don't think the formation created that. I think that was very much you could have been playing anything, and in that sort of set piece scenario, that goal would have come probably. But so I don't think it particularly helped. So what you've mentioned it 3 times now. So tell me about Tom O'Connor's goal. What did you think?
Well, if I'm honest, I didn't see it because. I just didn't see it, but I watched it back.
Yeah,
because somebody put something on. I think it was the people who follow the team. I think official videographers or whatever you want to call them. I think her name's Amy. She filmed it, and it was actually because obviously Luke Young assisted with it. And he did like a weird like kung fu back kick sort of thing. It was odd.
It wasn't really an overhead kick. It was it sort of was, but then it was sort of the outside of his foot, sort of that way. It was a strange goal,
which makes it a good goal. To be fair,
when we saw it, the funny thing, everyone was going, "Who scored that? Who scored that?"
You said that to me, and I was like, "I don't know who."
And then the guy next to me goes, "I think it was Elliot Lee. And then they announced it, and we were like, "Tom O'Connor." Seriously, and because we couldn't see, the sun was in our face most of the day. Which is horrendous.
Yeah,
but it was a great goal. It was very good, very what would you say? Ingenious, sort of like sort of made it up on the spot.
A fluky kick.
No, it wasn't a fluke. I think he knew what he was doing. I just think it was very creative. In a game that lacked creativity,
that goal was creative.
It was very creative of him to do that, and I was very surprised it was him that scored it. And to be honest,
he'd literally been on a few minutes, has he, before he scored that goal?
I don't know how long he was on, to be honest.
I don't think
he came on as a sub anyway, didn't he? So I mean, but I genuinely thought he'd won us the game. And
I think everybody thought. I think even the players thought he'd won us the game.
So we were in a perfect position for their goal, weren't we? So they equalised late on. What did you make of that? Before I put my pennies worth in, what did you make of their goal?
Well, a lot of people have put on social media that it was Howard's fault.
Yeah.
But looking at like the playback of it, I don't think. I mean, if it was anybody's fault, I personally would say it was Mendy's fault because he could have quite easily have got that ball. Who I don't even know who the other player was. Got that ball off him, but he didn't, and I think Howard did as much as he could do, and that might be completely disregarded from people, but that's personally how I think. I don't think because we were at a good angle.
We were in. I would say we were probably in the perfect angle.
And I don't think
we saw a lot of things that people maybe didn't see.
Yeah, so I don't think he could have done anything more than he actually did.
Is that because he's not good enough to, or do you just think?
No, I don't. I just don't think he could have done any more than he did. No. He tried his best.
Yeah, you're such a mum. He tried his best, and unfortunately, on this occasion, it wasn't good enough.
That's what you want, isn't it? You want them to try their best.
For what it's worth, my opinion was I saw that he got destroyed on social media. Mark Howard. After that, people were like, "Not good enough. He definitely should have saved that." And there was a lot of that flying about yesterday. So
everybody is a manager.
Yeah. For what it's worth, from the angle that we were at, I think you're wrong. Yeah, and I also think everybody else on social media are wrong. So, right, the ball got played through. Yeah, little ball onto the outside. Number one, shouldn't really be letting a player score from that sort of angle. But let's put that to one side for a second. So, Mendy is maybe slightly off his man. Yeah, but he is in an okay position, I would say. Yeah, now. He's dived to try and stop that ball. Now, and I think he's done what he could to get to block that ball.
Yep.
So I don't think Mendy's done a lot wrong. Maybe he was slightly off. Maybe he could have been a bit closer to his man. But I don't think he's done a hell of a lot wrong in that position.
Okay.
Whether a lot of people realise it or not, I'm not sure. But what happened is the guy took a shot and it's travelled a couple of feet, and then Mendy's sliding in to try and stop it. And basically what the ball has done is it's flicked off the top of Mendy's foot and it's looped. And it's looped, and we saw it from our angle right in the top corner. Yeah. Now, I think where a lot of people think Howard could have done better is it appeared it went in the goal quite slow. Yeah. But it didn't really. I mean, it sort of appears like that, but it's hit his foot. So, number one, the angle of that has changed from very close in front of him. So that I would say it was going sort of mid-height goal, maybe even lower down. It's flicked off Mendy's foot, and it's changed from sort of, you know, halfway down the goal to right in the top corner. And it was right in the top corner.
It was, yeah.
I think Howard had no chance with that. I think a lot of goalkeepers would have got caught out with that. And I think it's the deflection that put it where it was. It's basically, it's hit Mendy, it's looped up, and it's ended up in, it's gone right in the top corner, I would say. But
regardless of that, I don't think that Howard deserved all the abuse that he got.
No, I don't think that goal was his fault at all.
No.
I don't care if that's a different opinion to everybody else's. I really don't. It's my opinion. I was there. I saw it from a good angle. I don't care what everyone else thinks. I do care what people think, but I don't care that my opinion's different to everybody else's.
No.
I think they are wrong. And I don't think that goal was his fault.
I don't care about your opinion, but you're wrong.
When you're ill and I lose all sort of filter, really. I don't care. I don't care what you think. That's not what I think. Do you know what I mean? It's not, though. And I think the stick he got is either from some people who saw it from a different angle, some people who weren't even at the game, whatever. I mean, it's just, you know, I think you're wrong. In this instance, you're wrong. It wasn't his fault.
Okay.
You're
wrong. You're wrong.
I need a high horse for this episode.
Well, I think you're very much on it already, to be honest.
Just to ask you quickly, does Howard keep his place?
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
No Leighton.
This is the problem that I've got.
Yeah.
I like Leighton. I like Howard.
Yeah.
I think he's done as well for the past however many games. Done as well. But from a personal point of view, I would like to see Leighton play a few games.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's going on in Parky's head. He's thinking, right, okay, let's just get to a certain point of the season and then we'll bring Leighton back in. And a lot of people are saying bring Leighton back in. And I get that because people are thinking about before, obviously, how Howard came in. I keep calling him Howden.
Yeah, I know, you did yesterday, to be honest.
I don't know, because that's where we got our kitchen from. So, anyway.
You can't promote businesses. Businesses want to sponsor us. More than welcome to discuss them. Disregard that. Kitchens can be bought anywhere.
So I don't know whether Parky is thinking, let Howard play a few games, see how he goes, see how he fares, and then maybe if we're not where we want to be at a certain point of the season, which I don't think we are where we want to be at this point of the season, then maybe give Leighton a bit of a run out.
Awkward one, isn't it? Really, I
think it is,
because when a player comes back from injury, do you really want to launch him straight back into the team? Probably not, because the person who's playing in that position, you want him to still feel motivated and still feel like he's not just getting dropped straight away for the person coming back, because he's ultimately still going to be the number 2. So you don't want him to, But then I think if Leighton was going to come back, I think he'd have been back by now.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And you've got to bear in mind, what conversation has Parky had with Howard when he signed him? Has he signed him going, you are the number 1? Or has he signed him going, you are the number 1 until he comes back and then we'll see how it goes?
Maybe.
Or has he said, you're number 1 until he comes back and then he's definitely coming back in the team? Take the deal, don't take the deal. You don't know what's been said. There's quite a few different scenarios there.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's just a wait and see thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think so.
Yeah.
So for me, yesterday, man of the match was Luke Young.
I actually put on, before you start saying what were your reasons.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank you.
I hate the fact that I do agree with you, but I do agree with you. I put on a poll on, well, it wasn't really a poll, it was just a question, onto social media asking who if they had to choose, who would their man of the match be? We had Ben Tozer.
A few people said no one, didn't they?
Yeah. A couple of people said couldn't even choose. I don't know
Yeah.
whether that's couldn't even choose because nobody was good enough or there was too many for them to choose. I'm going to go with the first
I'm going to
one.
go with the first
Yeah.
one as well, yeah.
And there was O'Connor, obviously because he scored the goal. There was a couple of people who said O'Connor,
Yeah.
but we agreed and we wanted to award it to Luke Young.
Yeah, not that it's got anything to do with us, but you know, for us, it was definitely Luke Young.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a point that I wanted to bring up, really, that if you look at the games, Luke Young is your workhorse, isn't he?
Yes.
He turns up every game.
Does.
He puts the same performance in every game. When the team play bad, he is still at, I would say Luke Young's one of them 7.5, 8 out of 10 guys, right? And then you'll get weeks where he is overshadowed by someone who gets a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. But on weeks like, you know, the York game, his 7.5, 8 out of 10 is better than the 6.5 out of 10 that the nearest player got to him.
Do you think that he's like that because you know, he's the captain and he has to lead by example?
I think he's very much, I've seen him, the way that he starts the game. I just think he's
very professional.
He's a professional.
Yeah.
He does the same thing every week. He'll come onto the pitch. He does his little handshake in the middle. He runs the same little arc around, clapping all the fans. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Every week he does the same thing. And then he goes out there. He will run all day. He will put in a good performance. And like I say, is he the best player that I've ever seen play in that position? No, he's not. And I'm not going to lie about that.
No.
But he is, I would say he is possibly, no, I'll give it to him. I would say he is the most consistent player that I've seen play in that position.
So if we had 11 or 10 more, 11 players like him,
in different positions. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%, I would say.
Set for home and away
because
games.
Your team would be an 8 out of 10 every week. And I think that's probably good enough to win the league. Whereas at the moment, we're having weeks that we're 10 out of 10. And then we're having weeks where we're probably a 4 or 5 out of 10. And I just think it's that. And I think people struggle to understand. We're crap away at the moment. We are. We've been really poor away. I mean, look at let's just pick out some of the games. I'll pick out 2 because we went to them. York, poor. So poor all game. We were really poor. You know, we created a couple of chances. Yeah. And it's sort of like we spat our dummy out and went, oh, well, this isn't going to work for us. So... so let's just, we'll give up.
Admit defeat.
The amount of players who go down as well. They're going down. They're strong, big lads. And they're just falling. They're crumpling like a piece of paper, getting blown in the wind. And it's just stay on your feet. Get on with it. And, Oldham as well. That's another one. We were awful. I know we got 3 points out of that. And that's mainly because of the last 20 minutes. We sort of turned up and we went, oh, better play a bit here. For the first 70 minutes of that game, we were terrible.
I think that we are, because of I keep saying this over and over again, but because of the position that we're in, and I don't mean in the National League, I don't mean that. I think teams, no matter where they are positioned in the league table, they are like, right, we've got Wrexham today. We're at home.
Yeah.
Actually, when we are away as well.
You're talking about them up in their game.
I think, and I said this at the beginning of the season, they are, and they will, up their game purely because of who owns us and, the kind of plethora of players that we've got.
I would counteract that slightly. I do, while I do agree with that.
I don't like Bill Ryan.
No, it's not that I disagree. I do agree with what you're saying. I think teams however, on the flip side of that, I don't think York did that on Saturday. I don't feel like I looked at York going, oh, they were playing out of their skins. I just think they're an average team who played quite average, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think, look, I'd have loved to have won that game, but in the grand scheme of things, 1-1 was probably a fair result because they were very average. But let's not beat around the bush. So were we. So why did we deserve to win that game any more than they did? We both scored 1. You know, the nature of the game is that means it's 1-1. No, but, do you know what I mean? It's like they didn't deserve it. I don't feel like they brought their A game, but we were nowhere near our best.
I feel like their goal was a mistake. Ours was a good goal, assisted by Luke Young.
Yeah.
But I think their goal was a fluke. I'll put it out there. Their goal was a fluke.
Yeah, it was. It was a deflection, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I think a lot of people, I'm not sure a lot of people realise that it was a deflection.
Which is why I think they're having a go at Howard, because they...
Maybe a little bit, but it was, and it's one of them. But I don't know. Another thing that confused me as well, Hayden was struggling, wasn't he? And towards the end of the game. I think
they were all struggling, to be honest.
I mean, with it, like injury-wise, I think he picked up a little bit of a knock.
It's worrying, isn't it?
It was a little bit worrying, and he was visibly struggling.
Yeah.
We could see. But the strange thing was, at one point, they go, right, okay, we want to take a defender off, and we're going to bring on a midfielder just to try and push the game forward.
Did you bring on Sam Dalby for him?
But he didn't take Hayden off. This is my question. This is my point.
Ah, right. Okay,
so Hayden is visibly struggling.
Yeah.
And you want to take a defender off.
He takes a defender that's not struggling.
Yeah, he took somebody else off. And it was
just,
for me, it was just like, well, why are we leaving this guy who sort of at times looked like he could barely run?
Yeah.
And it was like you left him out there and then you took somebody else off. And for me, that was, again, it was another baffling decision. But I think it's just happening too many times now. I mean, if you look back, we're at the start of December. You know, the league started in August. You know, how many poor away performances have we put in?
How many away games have we actually lost or drawn?
Drop points.
Yeah.
Not sure. We'll look into that and we'll discuss that next time. But look at the games. Chesterfield, terrible performance, lost. Notts County, not the worst performance in the world, but lost. You know, Oldham probably deserved to lose for the first 70 minutes that we played that game. York, awful, managed to draw 1-1. You know, you could go on as well. Wealdstone, awful, couldn't even, it barely got a shot on target. You know, and these are all away games. And, you know, your home games, what you should be doing is banking on winning them. Let's just say we're going to win these.
Oh, God, absolutely.
We're winning our home games.
Yeah.
You're winning the league with your away form. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
As long as your home form's good. But you're winning the league with your away form. So, and we've got none at the moment. We've got absolutely none. And it needs turning around quite quickly,
So we're still good enough to win the league?
Based on yesterday, no. I think we're struggling. And for me, every time we do something to sort of put a marker down to everybody else of going, this is our league, Notts County go, I don't think so. And I've seen Notts County play. Ooh, this is going to be controversial now. But Notts County look good. And I think when Notts County are at their best, when I've seen Notts County at their best, they look better than us at times. They really do. And they've proved that by beating us once. Mm-hmm. And I know people are going to go, why are you saying that? I'm just being honest.
Yep.
You know, and Notts County look very good. And I don't think, you know, I think a lot of people thought, right, we're walking this league. Notts County finished wherever they finished last season, 4th or 5th or whatever. They're not going to be a threat. As long as they've got Ruben Rodriguez and Langstaff in that team, they're a threat.
Langstaff is being looked at by Premier League or higher. I was going to say higher leagues than they are at the moment.
There's 4 championship teams that I've heard are looking at Langstaff.
So we just need to pray that he gets bought and we don't have to worry about him.
I don't think Langstaff...
Or he gets injured.
I don't think Langstaff would be the player he is without Ruben Rodriguez, though. He is class. And I don't think Rodriguez is going anywhere. So Rodriguez is Portuguese, yeah. And I think when he leaves Notts County, he's going abroad. I don't think he's going anywhere else.
So that'll be a few years down the line.
I genuinely think he's happy there, and I don't think he's going anywhere. So I think as long as you put a half decent striker in front of him, I think he's feeding them. So at the moment, to answer your question, it's a little bit long-winded. I'm not sure.
Did you do a little burp then?
I did do a little burp, sorry.
Remember where you are.
Yeah, I know. As of now,
no,
we're not good enough to win the league. Based on what I've seen Notts County do, we're not. So it needs to change. It needs to get better. And I'm not saying we won't win the league, because I'm hoping, a little bit more strengthening in January.
Strength and depth.
Yeah, and I think maybe I don't know. Eastleigh.
Our next away game, 10th of December.
Yeah, so that's next Saturday.
It is next Saturday.
What's the crack with Eastleigh?
Right, well, I haven't bothered with top score and all that crap this week.
Because you usually get it wrong.
Because I usually get it wrong, and like I've said previously, I'm sick of looking like an idiot. I look an idiot enough when I'm doing the quiz, so,
Yeah.
So they're currently 8th at the moment on the table.
Okay.
And on the table. Is it in the table or on the table? In the table.
I mean, if you put an apple down, that's on the table.
Yeah.
I would say somebody would be 8th in the table.
Okay. Regardless, they're 8th. Last season they finished 19th.
Yes.
So their last 3 games. So they obviously played Boreham Wood yesterday.
Yes.
At home.
Yeah.
They won 1-0.
Okay.
And then before that they played away. The last 2 games are away. Altrincham 2-1 lost.
Yeah.
So they lost. And then Maidenhead away again. 2-1 lost.
See, they were a strange one. Last time I looked at Eastleigh, I think they were 5th in the table.
Oh, right, okay.
And it shocked me, really, that they were up there, because it was, like you said, last season, they were right down. I think is it positions 21 to 24 get relegated? Is it?
Well, isn't it 7 to 2 that have to go through the playoffs?
I can't remember. But I'm sure, anyway. They were, we're veering off here. But they were very close to
relegation.
So what's your predictions? Oh, just to mention predictions, we both got ours wrong. Nobody said 1-1. So.
Drastically wrong, I think. And
wrong.
I always do like a post, don't I, on match days, and I always ask people's opinions on what their score predictions are, and nobody got it right.
No,
nobody got because we always have such faith in the lads.
Yeah, no.
We always. Obviously fair for those.
I went for 2-0, didn't I?
I can't remember what I went for.
And when we went 1-0 up.
4-1, I said.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Yours was massively wrong.
I got the 1 goal right.
Yeah. I went for 2-0. I think when we went 1-0 up, it was one of them scenarios where I think, oh, right, they're going to have to push a little bit now. They're going to leave some space in behind, and we might get a second one. As it turned out, there was a second goal, but it wasn't us, was it? So, anyway, prediction for the Eastleigh game.
Right. I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to go low.
To us?
To us, yeah, obviously. Why would I go for Eastleigh?
I don't know. Do you know the weird thing about it? We played so bad.
Are you going to say like 1-1 or something?
No, because I don't. If I did say 1-1, I don't think that would be the most ridiculous scoreline, to be honest.
Point, isn't it?
Based on how we've been performing, I don't think 1-1 would be that ridiculous, to be honest. But I'm going to go for a low-scoring victory. Eastleigh, you have to remember, they're the time wasters, aren't they?
Oh my God, yes!
They're the Spitfires. I mean, whoever's got a season ticket for them, my God, I salute you, because they are dull as dishwashers to watch. They're awful.
They were pretty bad.
When they came to the racecourse, they literally were wasting time.
Oh my God.
The first minute.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. And I just think teams like that are
don't deserve to win.
No, they don't. They don't deserve to play football.
No.
But I think sometimes they do disrupt your rhythm. That's the whole point of it.
Who's telling them to do? Is their manager telling them to waste as much time as possible?
Yeah, because what you want is, especially away from home, you want to disrupt the rhythm of the other team. You don't want them getting on a roll, and you don't got chance after chance after chance, and all of a sudden they've got all this momentum, and so they'll try and calm it all down with a sense of, right, okay, waste a bit of time here, take long with the throw-ins. Goalkeeper, who's an absolute idiot, because the ball must be in his possession for about 30% of the game, the amount of time he takes to take goal kicks. Might be a little bit different when they're at home.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
All of their fans are there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But if they play like they did away, I'm going to go for 1-0, I am. A 1-0 Wrexham, because I just think it's hard to get any sort of rhythm going. against a team like that who persistently sort of do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, what did you go for?
2-0.
2-0, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite tough. I think attacking wise, we sort of struggle a little bit away from home, haven't we? You know, especially recently. So I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens there.
Yeah.
So a little bit of news from this week. So we got Coventry in the FA Cup. Fingers crossed, we're going to be going to that one.
Yes.
Maybe, hopefully.
Yes.
Well, we should get a decent allocation for that.
Hopefully.
Somebody told me that the away end is 5,000 capacity. But
Depends whether they...
Yeah, if they give it a all.
Yeah.
But they cap it at 4,500. So that's a nice, decent amount to be getting tickets. So fingers crossed we'll get that one.
Yeah.
I think that's on the 7th of January.
It is, yes.
Interesting point. It's.
Can I say that I made this interesting point to you?
If you want, but you stole one of my points before.
Well,
so.
this is a good point.
Yeah.
We were in bed, and I'm not sure that really I needed to say
matter,
that.
No.
And I was Googling,
yeah.
and I was Googling the Coventry team just to kind of get a bit of background on them. And I realised, I was like, God, that's a really unusual name.
Yeah.
So I delved into it a little bit more, and actually, Kyle McFadzean plays for Coventry, who just so happens to be the brother of our Callum McFadzean.
Yeah.
It's quite an unusual. I've never heard that name before, so I thought that cannot be coincidence.
Yeah.
And I said to you, didn't I? I said, I wonder if Parky will play him, will play Callum, I wonder if the Coventry manager will play.
Yeah.
And I wonder. I didn't look too much into it, but I wondered what sort of position Kyle play. Is he a defender?
Yeah, he's a centre back. So I think he's pretty much their regular centre back as well. So he'll be playing. He's a lot older than Callum though. He's 35.
Right.
So it's a bit of McFadzean on McFadzean action.
It'll be interesting to see how the dynamic between them on the pitch is.
Other news. So Jordan Davis, we've sort of touched on about missing him. So he is out for 3 months.
Up to 3 months.
Up to 3 months. But we obviously got told 6 weeks for Mendy, and he was out for 8. So it's one of them where you don't really know.
It depends how his recovery is.
It is. He's quite a young lad, though, so you would hope that his recovery is good for his age as well. I think it's generally as you get a bit older, you struggle to recover
and I
from
think as
injuries,
well,
so.
he will be very much like, right, what do I need to do to get this recovery over quickly? You know, he'll be his goal will be to get back into the team.
Keep focused on
exactly,
it. Yeah, and I think he is a miss, but it's one of them, isn't it? Because he wasn't really playing before he went away. But whoever you decide to play, you need that other player as an option.
Yeah.
If you start with Lee, you need Jones. You need Davis as the option.
You definitely need Jones all the time.
If you start with Davis, you need Lee as the option, and you just that's what you need. And I think I wouldn't be too surprised if in January we see an attacking midfielder purchase.
I think it's been put on. I think Parky did an interview, and I think he has actually said that before Davis had his injury, they were looking for somebody anyway. Whether that was just him saying that to save face, I don't know. Yeah. But they are looking for somebody else. So hopefully we'll get a good signing for that.
A couple of other points. We're not going to sort of spend too much time on these, but the National League streaming service that was sort of been mooted for a while. They're doing a soft launch on the 10th.
I'm not sure what soft launch is.
No, we're not really. So that's why we're not going to go too much into it, because we're going to wait and see. And I think what we're going to do in next week's podcast, we're going to discuss it a little bit more in depth. I think the soft launch is on the 10th. And I think the plan is for the full launch of the streaming service to be for around the Boxing Day sort of games.
They said about 2 weeks, which is about the Boxing Day game.
Yeah.
I have got some information about that, though. A lot of people have been complaining about that Wrexham are going to be making loads of money from it, because obviously we've got our international fans, haven't we? But a statement was put out saying, under the proposal, domestic fans would pay a £10 match pass, while international fans would get the stream free of charge. And this is in a bid to ensure Wrexham do not gain financially on other sides, given their increased exposure in light of their recent Disney Plus documentary. And it also says Wrexham are also proposing to contribute 100% of profit made from the streaming of each match to the National League for distribution or allocation as they feel appropriate.
That's nice of them.
So
didn't have to do that, did they?
no,
To be
exactly.
honest, but,
Exactly. See, this is the thing. Ryan and Rob are trying to do everything they can, not just for Wrexham, but they're trying to make it a fair, a fair thing for all National League teams.
But in actual fact, before all this National League streaming stuff, we were trying to do our own streaming, weren't we? And all that money that we were going to do from our streaming was going to go back to the National League anyway to get sort of spread about.
So regardless, the National League teams are going to do well out of Wrexham. So stop slagging us off.
Yeah.
Get behind us.
Yeah.
And shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Quick one about the World Cup.
Do we have to talk about that, really?
Oh, I don't know, really.
No, let's not.
We've got to, haven't we? No. So Wales obviously played England last week since the last podcast. What did you make of the game?
It was, as the other two previous games, it was dull.
I thought they very much did their job, Wales, in the first half. I thought they stayed very solid, and Joe Allen had a little bit of a chance towards the end of the first half, and I think that's the best we could have hoped for. Mm-hmm. I think it was a case of, right, just stay solid, keep them out. We're not going to get a lot of the ball. Let them have 70-80% possession. Just stay solid. And then hopefully we might be able to nick something later on. It didn't happen like that, did it? Because we absolutely capitulated in the second half.
Well, yeah, they did. Bale didn't come back on. I don't even know why he didn't come back on. Was he injured?
He was never going to. I think if we'd have got through, I think he would have struggled to play all the games, to be honest.
Nico came off as well, didn't he, after
concussion, got smacked in the face with a ball. But no, it was one of that. If I'm honest, I was a bit worried it was going to be more. When they scored 2 goals in a minute, I thought, right, this is over now, but let's not
get them anymore.
Yeah, let's not let them have any more. I would just as a point, I'm very proud of the Welsh team for getting to a World Cup and allowing me and Sian and my son to see Wales at a World Cup. Which, I'll be honest, I'm 40. I've never seen them at a World Cup before, so it's nice for my 10-year-old to have seen them at a World Cup already. Will we get to the next one? I don't know. It's one of them now where it's difficult to see how we're going to replace some of the players that are at the end of their career.
We need to get Mullen in our Wales team.
Yeah, maybe. But I think, the 2016 Euros, when we had that amazing Euros, and a couple of years before that, very much felt like the start of something.
Yeah.
The start of Wales being great. And I think now, as sad as it is, this sort of feels like the end of something. You got Bale, you got Ramsey, you got Joe Allen. They're all in the twilight years of their career.
Yeah.
And who is replacing them? I'm not sure we have them sort of caliber of players coming in to replace them.
I think in a few more years, Nico Williams, he's a half decent player. I think he could possibly be the next Bale, maybe.
Maybe, because Bale started as a wing back, and you just don't know. You don't know how players. He was a left back, Gareth Bale, ultimately, and he developed into the player that we've seen over the last few years. So, not the most ridiculous thing you've ever said.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'll give you that one.
I'm learning something.
Yeah, I'm not sure it will, but I'm not sure many people would have thought Gareth Bale would have developed into the player he was.
Nico Williams can't play on his own, can he? He needs a team around him.
But having said that, Gareth Bale has very much played on his own on many occasions for Wales. So you say that, but the people definitely can.
We'll see.
So, other people who've got in touch. I'm going to be honest. Because I'm poorly, I haven't really looked.
You're such a brave soldier.
I am. I know.
Honestly.
I know.
Right. So we had David Williams, who is no relation to me.
Your brother?
It's not my brother.
No. Oh, no, it's not.
It's just another one called David Williams. I don't think it's my brother anyway. He said, it's a weird comment actually, so I don't think it was my brother.
Yeah.
He said, I was sceptical at first, but the content has improved massively since the first episode. Keep up the good work.
Oh, about us?
Yeah. I was a bit, to be fair, I was thinking, I don't really want to air that. But the fact that we have got good, since the first episode.
Yeah, we've got better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
why
that's a good comment to put. And we had Carlo Wilson.
Yeah.
Gotta love this guy.
Yeah.
Lee's goal was stupendous. Obviously, that was the game, last home game.
Yeah, Farnborough.
Yeah. He said, I'm inviting people to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Let's get to 500 by Christmas.
Ah, thank you very much.
We love you, Carlo.
Yeah.
Nigel Coulton got in touch with us on Facebook Messenger. He said, morning, guys. Great content as always. A couple of topics would love to hear you discuss.
Yeah.
Wrexham ladies and their continued rise, which we are looking at. Gathering some information about them, because it's not very easy to get information about the ladies.
And I'll be honest, it does look like this is we just sit down and talk, but there is actual planning and preparation that goes into this. So we are putting a piece together at the moment about the Wrexham ladies, and then what we try and do is, if sometimes things become a regular part of the show. But we're putting something together and we'll see how that goes. But that's coming soon. Yes. Anyway, Nigel.
So he wants us to, because obviously we asked people what they want us to discuss.
Yeah.
And we have discussed in the previous episode about the food issue.
Yeah.
And he said that he thinks it needs raising again because it hasn't improved. Okay. And there's still massive issues in the tech end, which I believe that's where he sits.
Definitely. I've heard a few complaints.
Ticketing, how best to allocate.
Yeah.
And also coming up January transfer window. Do we need a midfielder now after Jordan Davis' injury? Where else do we strengthen?
Yes, we do. It's the short answer.
Yeah. So thank you, Nigel. Facebook comment, Tony Gibson. Great job as always. I see the importance of Jones more clearly. Amazing player. Like in a lot of sports, I'm guessing just because a lineup is exciting to watch doesn't mean it's the best option.
Correct.
Very true.
100%.
And finally, we had a message from Sam Bosworth.
Yeah.
He put, another great episode. You guys make my overnight shifts at the grocery store exciting and fun. And I was thinking about helping out other clubs, like we mentioned in our last podcast. Yeah. And he says, I feel like I'm more on the side of not helping. However, I don't think I'd be able to not donate to a club that was about to be shut down or something similar.
Yeah.
And he said, do you think that newer football fans, Wrexham fans, like myself, may be more likely to say no to helping other clubs, and older supporters are more likely to help?
Definitely. I would say so, because I think a lot of the older supporters have been through that sort of scenario where struggling for money and need to bring some money in. So I think definitely older supporters understand the plight of clubs a little bit better.
He said that he's in the same opinion as me, and his dad is in the same opinion as you, because obviously he's an older Wrexham fan, and Sam is, like me, a newer fan. So thank you very much, and he knows how to pronounce my name as well, which is amazing.
That's good.
So thank you for that.
Just a quick point, Dragon Chat, which I try and mention every week. It's a mental health peer support group that is available to people every Thursday. It starts at 7 p.m. to 8:30. There's a link down in the description if you're watching on YouTube. Alternatively, head over to the Wrexham AFC Facebook page, and it'll have all the details of how to get on that Zoom call. So just mentioning that. We're running out of time, so let's get the quiz.
If you just before we get on the quiz, if you do want to get in touch with us, we are on Twitter, Facebook, all the socials, and our email address is the longest email address in the world, but it's me, the wife, and Wrexham AFC @gmail.com.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. I'm proud of you. Right. What I've noticed is on these quizzes, you sort of struggle with the
sort of struggle.
No, you sort of struggle when I ask you questions that happened more than a week ago. So I've tried to condense that down for you to make it a little bit easier. Okay. So all of these questions relate to the last 48 hours in the world of Wrexham AFC to try and help you out. Okay. So, question 1. Yes. Are you ready?
No.
So, we were at York on Saturday.
We were.
What was the name of their ground?
The LNER Community Stadium.
Well done. Didn't think you'd get that, to be honest.
No, it's a shame.
Right. Question 2. Which one of these Wrexham players was not substituted in the game on Saturday? Anthony Ford, Callum McFadzean, or Jordan Tunnicliffe?
Anthony Ford.
Correct. Well done.
Oh my God, am I going to get 5 out of 5?
Well, we'll see now. Question 3. In what minute did sorry, I will start that one again. In what minute did York score their equaliser? Was it the 90th, the 92nd, or the 94th minute?
It was the Did you say 90th?
90, 92, 94.
90.
Incorrect.
Oh, it was 92, wasn't it?
It's the 92nd, yeah. Number 4. You are going to struggle with this one because you've already sort of mentioned this and you didn't know it then, so I don't think you're going to know it now.
Oh, okay.
Who scored York's equaliser? Was it...
Okay.
I have 3 options.
Okay.
Calm down. Was it Manny Duku, Lionel John Lewis, or Gus Mafuta?
Ooh, it was either the first one or the last one. I'm going to go with the first one.
Which was Manny Duku?
No, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. Well done. Okay. What was the name of the stand we were sat in for the game? And for anybody playing along at home who wants to play, we were in the stand because there was 2 stands that were Wrexham fans. We were in the stand behind the goal. So, what was the name of the stand that we were sat in?
It was the North Stand.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Don't pat me on the back because I will.
No, it sounds patronising when I say it. It always does, but well done. High five? Yeah, man.
Can I just high five you for soldiering on through this podcast? You've done it proud. You're really good.
I've done my best.
You can go back to sleep now.
I am gonna have a lemsip. I'm gonna put my dress. I nearly did this in my dressing gown.
He said I'm gonna wear my dressing gown just to show people how poorly I actually am.
No, that's not what I said. You absolute liar. You liar. You're like I'm fishing for for sympathy now. Just one thing to mention before we go. We'd said before that we were trying to get all the states listening to the US states listening to our podcast.
Yay.
We now have Arkansas and also Maine. We've got one left.
North Dakota.
North Dakota, why aren't you listening to us? Please listen. Anyway, and just a little welcome as well. There's a new country that's actually started listening to the podcast. That's the Faroe Islands. So hello.
Don't even know where that is.
I'll show you on a map.
Sounds Egyptian.
It's not.
No. Okay.
No, I can see why you'd think that, but no. So hello to you if you're listening in the Faroe Islands. But yes, North Dakota. Please get somebody listening to our podcast in North Dakota.
Travel to Dakota. Yeah. Go to North Dakota and listen to us.
Yes, please. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.
We will, and hopefully Ryan will be better by then.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.